I have a question then. So why, according to you, do you think that Malayalam films don't have an Hindi belt penetration? What is it that is lacking? Why? Because the quality is there, but why is it that even a film like Empuran, I think the best case that was Marco. I think around 12 crores it had collected on net. Which was the best case. It's a huge thing as far as a Malayalam film dubbed in Hindi is concerned, a pan India, if you would like to call it, if that name. So, what according to you is the missing link?
See, I think
why is the penetration missing?
The big factor a lot of people miss is that it's not that suddenly Bahubali came and Bahubali was a separate case because it's a different thing altogether for theaters. But all the other heroes who have made it, now Telugu films have a good kind of run. It's not that because suddenly they're like, then Bollywood was bad, so they saw those films. They have created a big market on satellite. Then on YouTube, those films which are not even good, which we don't even think and talk about, they are bought by gold mines, and they have now 20, 50, 100, 200 million views on YouTube. People are watching it. They have kind of created a whole market for their films through that. And then then Pushpa with Allu Arjun decided I'll take the Hindi, and he went to Patna because he knows that's the place his films are watched in dub. So he went there and he marketed it, and then it just blew up. And then we saw with Pushpa 2 what happened. So it's like a attempt. It's like a cycle. It's a long thing going on. It's a process. It's not suddenly before OTT, how many Malayalam films were even available to watch with subtitles. Now at least we have subtitles, and now at least we're getting dubs on OTT platform that on Disney Plus Hotstar. So many thrillers of Malayalam thrillers are working because people love watching thrillers. It's just that how will you able to bring that audience to the theater? Like, what are you gonna promise them? If a Drishyam tomorrow with Mohanlal also releases first in Hindi belt also, and if they dub it, I don't think they will, but if they dub it, it will get good money because because on OTT people actually saw the Drishyam original 2, and then in theaters Drishyam 2 came, so people like, okay, we have different attachment to that character, so they went and it became blockbuster. So if you really that 100 crore you have to touch, and 50 crore, even 50 crore is a big thing for Malayalam film, so you have to create that the familiarity with the actors. Like Prithvi Raj has taken that. He's now in Salar. A lot of people know him more better. He was in Ravan, but how many people saw that film? So it's a process. It's a long process. You have to keep working at it. And I think with OTT and availability of content, it also backfires that Malayalam content is so much available on OTT. People think it's an OTT film. Like Avesham kind of actually, they didn't do a Hindi release. I think if they'd done it, that film would have worked. There were so many people without me knowing they are not into exploring cinema, they still watched Avesham. Then they're telling me, dude, you saw that film, it's so amazing. And Fahad has kind of made it. So that film, they already sold the OTT rights, so they couldn't dub it and then put it out in Hindi market. So that was the issue. But even Manjumal Boys, after OTT, they got so much things. So Malayalam film already are traveling into southern states at least. Manjumal Boys did really well in Tamil. 2018 did really well in Telugu. So it's that first they have to capture that market. At least they release a film, it works in that, and then slowly Hindi also.
Yeah, I think for Tamil and Telugu films, like Nona said, I think the base was created long ago, like the foundation. In Dragon film, they talk about creating a strong foundation. I think that foundation has been created for a very long time, because I remember as a kid, me and my father, we used to watch a lot of Tamil and Telugu Hindi dub on television. So I mean, and I was like, I don't know this actor. Now I recognize, obviously, this was an Allu Arjun film that I used to watch. So they have created that foundation long back, and now because of the OTT and because of social media, it has just exploded, kind of. So Malayalam film is now starting to do it. So it is on that journey, but it'll get there eventually, I feel, if they at least once a year come up with like these big budget films, because that's what gets the eyeballs now. Like when you talk about Marco, the main factor was the shock value that the violence gave, okay? Because that's how they promoted it. That's how the whole marketing was. It's the most violent film. And to the point that it kind of got compared with Animal. Like, okay, people were like, in the Hindi belt specifically, that animal action is nothing, because that was the peak violence for them. And then Marco came, and then so it brought about that discussion. So I feel that Malayalam cinema is on its way now. So if they because they produce a varied amount of movies. So I feel there would be at least 2 or 3 movies from that whole lot that they release in the year that has the potential to actually go pan India and capture that Hindi audience. So it's on its way. It's now because Telugu and Tamil I think has a huge base already, because years and years of them showing the Hindi dub in television, and of course a lot of content is available in Hindi on YouTube as well.
So do you then think that the medium is wrong then for a film like Empuran, to go all out for the Hindi belt, in terms of promotions, as opposed to say simply like, selling your rights to a gold mine or something for a better reach and then build it on that with L3?
For L3, I think they'll have to be a little, because what they have done now with
the medium
Empuran,
is wrong, no?
Yeah, what they've done now with Empuran, they cannot go with the same strategy in the Hindi belt, specifically because now there are sour grapes because of this whole controversy and debacle. So people will remember that. So now they'll have to kind of pivot their marketing strategy for L3 whenever the announcement comes, because again, it's going to be, I feel, a much bigger film than Empuran in terms of scale. So they need to be very, very smart about how they promote it and kind of find really, really solid distributors who you know that you're going to get assured footfalls.
I think this is a missing link as well, in terms of reach. When you're talking, you see many of the pan-India Telugu films, the major ones at least, like a Bahubali, or even a Devara, for example, they tie it with a Dharma production. So there's an acquired strategy by producers who understand the Hindi market. And they understand how to promote their film. Nowadays, so nothing is working. That's a different case. But by and large, they understand, the promotion strategy rather of a film. So I think that also, instead of, Ashirwad Cinemas, trying their luck, and pushing the case themselves,
they
could have,
tried with this, Laika. They tried getting the Tamil market with Laika.
But Laika is again not a Hindi production.
No,
house.
I'm talking about it for Tamil.
Typically,
I'm talking about for Tamil.
Tamil, yes.
For Tamil, they tried that.
They wanted a Hindi belt, no? Hindi belt penetration is what you're talking about.
See, that is also comes with distribution, right? Like if for Bahubali, Dharma came on board for Hindi distribution.
Yeah.
So they took us something to a different level. But again, first you have to come up with that, relationships first.
Yeah.
If you already have the backing of different producers, will they come in? Someone else say, no, that's my connection to get that guy for Hindi. There's so many logistics behind. And see, Lucifer and even L2 and Lucifer, those kind of films will go to Goldmine because they'll get a better deal at OTT platform. Like I'm talking about the Goldmine has the films which we don't even know about. And that has created a palette of these films, for the audiences. So now they understand what is a massive film. Before, you remember we used to say South Indian films, they just fly and, used to find it stupid. Now people like watching all that stuff.
Yeah,
because they've been trained with that.
Yeah, because Rajnikant films that I used to watch when I was in school, all the Hindi dub films were Rajnikant films me and my father used to watch. And we were like, oh, this is like so different. Oh, he's doing like these gravity defying things, which were fun to watch. I think that base was already created. And I think with Malayalam cinema, they cannot emulate what Tamil mass and what Telugu mass is. I think Malayalam mass needs to be something very unique to them, because otherwise it's all the same. I don't know. There's no differentiator. For Malayalam cinema, the mass definition has to be something different. And they need to promote it that way so that audience is like, okay, mass can be this also. This is interesting.
I think Drishyam is mass. Drishyam is mass. That's a best example.
We'll see how L3, whenever it happens, pans out. I don't think we need to wait another 6 years for that announcement to come in. Let's see.
Do you think everything that has happened, someone was even saying that there's a theory that something behind the scene between the producers and all things are not right after this controversy. So do you think everything that has happened, will it affect L3 or we are getting L3?